Who was actually sacrificed, Isaac or Ishmael? The Torah and the Bible explicitly state that the son who was to be sacrificed was Isaac, Genesis 22. This story, known as the binding of Isaac, Akedah in Hebrew, is a foundational narrative in both traditions. The Quran refers to a great sacrifice, Quran 37:99-113, but it does not explicitly name the son. Most Islamic scholars and commentators interpret the sacrificed son to be Ishmael, Ismaelinoi, the elder son of Abraham, Ibrahim, based on contextual evidence. The historical identification of whether Ishmael or Isaac was sacrificed depends largely on the perspective and tradition from which one examines the story. The location of the sacrifice, often identified as near Mecca, aligns with Islamic tradition emphasizing Ishmael's role in Abraham's life. The Hebrew Bible, Genesis 22, explicitly names Isaac as the son involved in the binding story. Some modern historians and scholars suggest that early traditions in the Arabian Peninsula before the codification of Judeo-Christian scriptures might have regarded Ishmael as the chosen son in the sacrifice story. The prominence of Ishmael in Arab ancestry lends weight to the view that local traditions focused on him. But as we know, the Bible was changed over time while the Quran remains unchanged. However, the Quran does not mention a name, but the location of the sacrifice near Mecca concludes that it was the elder son, as Sarah was infertile at the time the sacrifice was demanded by God. Is it? Let's explore this. In Islamic tradition, the event is associated with the region near Mecca, specifically Mina, where Muslims today commemorate the act during Eid al-Adha. The connection to Mecca aligns with Ishmael, as Islamic tradition holds that Ishmael and his mother Hagar, Hajar, settled near Mecca, and Ishmael is considered the ancestor of the Arabs. Ishmael was born to Hagar when Sarah, Abraham's wife, was considered infertile. By the time of the sacrifice, Sarah had not yet conceived Isaac, which supports the idea that Ishmael, being the elder and only son at the time, would logically have been the one involved. This view is strengthened by the Quranic emphasis on Ishmael's role in Abraham's life, particularly in building the Kaaba with him. It is widely acknowledged among scholars that the Bible has undergone various translations, redactions, and potential modifications over centuries. Muslims believe the Quran is the final, unaltered word of God, preserving the original truth of earlier revelations, which might explain why the Quran leaves the son unnamed but points to Ishmael through indirect evidence like the location and context. While the Quran does not explicitly name Ishmael, the combination of Islamic tradition, the location near Mecca, and Ishmael's elder son status strongly supports the view that Ishmael was the intended sacrifice. This interpretation contrasts with the Judeo-Christian narrative but is deeply rooted in Islamic belief.